Join the military. If you're a young guy, if you haven't gone to college yet, I would suggest you join the military. I myself am not a veteran. I never joined because at the time it never really occurred to me. But retrospectively, if I had to do it over again, I would have joined the military right after high school. I would have done 2 years or a 3-year tour with, just a couple of years. It would have helped. Because you see, so many of us young guys, I'm not a young guy obviously, but so many men today growing up in our current environment, in our post-sexual revolution childhood, a lot of us were raised by single mothers. A lot of us had a fairly miserable childhood that was completely unstable, with a lot of drama going on between our parents because we were raised by baby boomers or perhaps people younger than baby boomers who had been brought up to think that it was okay to air out their emotional baggage in front of their children and inflict tremendous emotional damage onto their children. And so, checking YouTube and checking the messages that I get and the comments, which I appreciate so much, and please comment more, because I always like to be in touch with the people who are watching my content. Well, most of them say the same thing, that they had this childhood that left them emotionally confused, sort of like scrambled up. Their heads and their emotions completely just, a mess. And so, why is the military a good thing for a young man? 2 years, not a career in it, just a couple of years. Well, because when you're a soldier, you have to follow orders and you have to basically shut your brain down. And most military service is incredibly monotonous and boring. And this is actually good. Because in a very weird way, and I know what I'm about to say is going to sound insane, but think it through. Doing 2 years as just a regular soldier, a private or whatever, well, it's a little bit like meditation. Yeah, I know, but think about it. See, what is meditation? It's the act of concentrating on something trivial and mundane so that your mind can wander and be at rest and at peace and take a break, as it were. You focus on this very trivial task that does not require many IQ points. And your higher IQ points, as it were, the really valuable ones, they go off and wander and rest and relax. See? That's what meditation is. That's what military service is. You have to do a whole bunch of shit that's boring as fuck, right? But it lets your mind wander, it lets your mind rest, and it stills the emotional confusion that you might be having. You see? And so you go to the military for 2 years. And your sergeant or your officer or whoever says, run there, run here, do this, do that. It's boring as fuck, right? But you are surrendering your autonomy for a couple of years so that you can find peace within yourself, within your heart, without being, bothered by the mundanity and the details and the distractions of regular life. You're going to be in the best shape of your life because, of course, in the military you have to be in good shape. So you're going to be running, God knows how long, every goddamn day, right? And you're going to learn a whole bunch of fairly valuable skills, starting with learning how to fire a weapon, right? I still do not know how to fire a weapon, and it's one of my regrets. See, you will learn to do a whole host of practical things that will serve you for the rest of your life. You'll do 2 years. You'll get a lot out of it, and when you exit, you'll have a whole bunch of benefits that you can use for education, say, or benefits that will help you insofar as purchasing a home and what have you. Veterans in the United States, at least, have a whole bunch of advantages over regular people. And it's good. It's just 2 years. Don't make a career out of it, because a career in the military, yeah, sure, when you finish after 20 years or 25 years or whatever, you're going to have a pension for the rest of your life. Sure, that sounds great. But it's 25 fucking years, or 20 years, however long it may be. I don't actually know, but I would assume 2 decades at least. Do you want to spend 2 decades running around and hopping when your officer tells you to hop? It doesn't sound very fun. And also, you're giving up the best years of your life insofar as building a business, building a career, what have you. But see, in your 20s, your 20s, you can burn a couple of years, no problem. Nobody's going to mind. You're not even going to notice. Retrospectively, no. Between high school and college, I burned 5 years, 5.5 years. I hardly notice it now. Actually, I did a lot of cool stuff. I traveled, I taught English as a second language, all the rest of it. Now I wish that among those 5 years, I'd done a couple of years in the armed forces. I would have gone to the Marines. The Marines or the French Foreign Legion. Because, I mean, here comes the next point. If you're going to go to the military, don't half-ass it. Don't join the fucking Coast Guard or some shit like that. Okay? Join the toughest outfit that you can handle. You know, you think that your abilities are here? Well, pick the outfit that is just a little bit higher, that'll push you physically and mentally, insofar as being able to endure difficulties, right? Because that kind of pushing your envelope, as it were, is good for you in the long run. Nassim Taleb wrote this great book, Anti-Fragile. And it's basically the principle. It's a terrible title, and the word is very awkward, but anti-fragile is a key concept. You see, it's like bones. Bones become very fragile in a weightless environment because they don't have any pressure on them. You see? And so when astronauts come back, especially those who are on the International Space Station for a while, and they come back after, 6 months or however long they stay up there, they come back and it's actually very dangerous. They sometimes often break bones or suffer stress fractures because they haven't been putting any weight on it. But when you put weight on your bones hard and really push it, it becomes stronger. And you see, that's what you want. You want to get stronger. You want to have greater endurance, greater resilience. That's it, resilience. You want to be more resilient to the normal vicissitudes of a life. And the military can give you that. And the military, of course, is it's going to be 2 years of misery. But it will be better for you in the long run. Now, of course, you don't have to be 18 to go into the military. You can have finished college and go after that. I mean, I think for the Marines, the oldest you can join is 27, I think. Join it. Don't be stupid. Yeah? And you're going to be saying, well, what if I get sent to war? Well, so what? The odds aren't great that you're going to get killed in the war, okay? It's not that everybody who goes to the front is going to get killed. The odds are pretty much in your favor that you'll come back fine. And hey, you might get to kill somebody. Good on you, you won't get arrested for it. Good for you. I mean, one more experience on the list of things that you should be doing with your life. Okay, I'm not saying that, killing somebody is on your list of things to do in a life, but I'm saying that if you go to war, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, going to war, getting shot at, yes, it's not pleasant, right? But it's not the end of the world. Okay, see, the only thing that is the end of the world is the actual end of the world. Other than that, everything can be handled. Everything can be managed. Okay? So don't be afraid. Okay? And you say that, oh, I'm too old. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Oh, I'm fat. I'm that. All fucking excuses. I don't want to hear it. Okay? Join it. It will do you good. Not as a career. As a career, the military is a dead end. But a couple of years would be good. Now, I was talking to a fellow YouTuber, and I have always had an idea, and it's a fairly simple idea. I've always thought that in our democracies, we should make it mandatory for everyone to join the military for a couple of years. For everyone to do a 2-year stint in the military. For everyone to be obliged to go and spend 2 years learning to defend the country. And in order to do that, they have to lose weight and get in shape and be able to pass a standard physical. Everybody who's 18. When everybody's 18, they graduate high school and they join the military for 2 years. And then after that, they can go to college. And only if they've done their service can they have the right to vote. Only if they've done their service would they have the right to own property. Now, why? Why this idea? Well, very simple. You see, we in a democracy, the problem that we're having is that at this point in time, the different social classes and the different ethnic groups are not mixing up. There is no point in our society where you have to mix it up with people who are radically different from you. Now, in my own case, I am upscale kind of guy. My parents were university educated and we lived in very nice neighborhoods all of my life. I went to a couple of public schools, but you know, public schools in very shishi neighborhoods. They were better than the private schools, right? I didn't meet poor people in the United States until I was an adult, until I actually went looking for them. Because one time I crossed the country, and in the South, in the deep South, in Mississippi, I got to meet some people who were truly poor. And I saw poverty in the United States for the first time in my life. And I was 32 actually, when I did that trip. You know, for 32 years, I had never seen truly lower income people. I've never spoken to them. They just hadn't crossed my path. Now, there are a lot of people who are like that, educated people, and that's a problem that we're having. I bet you probably have not met a lot of people in your society that you talk about. You talk about this demographic or that demographic, this ethnic group, that ethnic group, but you've never met even a single exemplar of that particular group, right? What would happen if everybody had to join the military and do 2 years? Well, first of all, I think it would straighten out a lot of people and make them a lot more sensible and not, you know, so easily manipulated into believing this feminist shit, which is just, you know, cultural Marxist brainwashing, right? And on the other hand, it would make people understand what are the priorities of different ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds. And I think it would be good for people, for the whole country. It would provide unity. You know which country does this, by the way? Switzerland. In Switzerland and Israel, military service is mandatory. And because of it, the Swiss and the Israelis, they are a lot more cohesive. Well, the Israelis have the issue of their religion, but the Swiss, who are a multi-ethnic, a truly multi-ethnic, multicultural country, because of their mandatory military service, see, they gel, they coalesce. That's just a thought. So anyway, I just want to leave it at that. But you're probably thinking that, hey, coach, you know, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm not going to do 2 years in the military. Think about it. Think about the man you would be after 2 years. And it's never too late. It's never too late. You know, the French Foreign Service, they don't give a shit how old you are. All you need to do is know French and be able to pass the physical. So think about it. Think about it seriously. It'll do you good.